So what are we going to do today? I had put the list of topics in the WhatsApp group. Let me read through that. I don't trust my memory. I don't want anybody to trust my memory or his or her own memory as well. So we are going to talk about functions, domain and range, how to differentiate between function and non-function, and then recognizing function from a graph. So, okay, so Tasvik, no bathroom break. Starting today, for anybody, there is no bathroom break. It's a 1 hour class, you can hold it for 1 hour. You have to come prepared for the class, okay? When you go to, let's say, a train, when you don't have a restroom, what do you do? So anyways, coming back to a serious point, we are going to talk about functions, and we'll try relating that with what is domain and range. How do you differentiate between a function and a non-function? So first of all, tell me what is your understanding of a function? Does anybody in the class know what is a function? Wait, I'll come to you. Yes, tell me, Sami, what is a function?
So a function is like the purpose of something, I mean what it does.
Okay. Anybody else? I'll come to you. I know you will give some answer. Anybody else? What is a function? Okay, Arab, tell me, what is a function? In simplest possible way, please. I'm not intelligent.
So in mathematical terms, it can be like a rule that like we follow with numbers, or computer science is like if and else statement.
Are you talking about programming shit?
Both.
No, we're not.
So then basically it's like a rule with like an equation graph or like or X or Y table, like an input output.
Okay.
The function is like a rule, like times 5 times 2 plus 5 on the x that gives the effect to make it to y.
Okay. Let's see what Sanvita will explain to a 5-year-old teacher. Yes, Sanvita, go ahead.
It's like a rule that takes your input and gives exactly one output for each input.
You said something that is worth probably $500,000. And I'm not sure if anybody paid attention to that. Tasvik here. 1 hour you will be with me only. So you will listen to everything that I say or somebody in the class says. So that's the only way you learn. What Sanvita said, Sanvita, can you repeat your $1 million statement one more time for everybody? And let's see.
It's like a rule that takes every input that you put in and gives exactly like one output for each input.
The $1 million thing is that exact one output. For every input, there is exact one output. That is what I mean by the word that I was talking about. Now let's look at it. Let's say function again. Now let me kind of put it all together. Okay. So hey Laksh. So we are talking about what is a function. Okay. So a function, we always say, right, and y is a function of x. My result is a function of how much I prepared. My personality is a function of how I behave. Okay? Or my behavior is a function of my personality. Whatever. So you are saying, okay, y is a function of x. That is a definition. Okay, don't worry about taking notes. You have everything on the video. Why you have to worry about wasting paper here? Waste your paper solving problems. So let's not worry about that function. But function in absolute terms, it's like a rule. It says, okay, if something, then something. If something, then something else. If something else, then something else. Molina, with me, beta?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I saw you getting a little worried, so I was wondering, am I getting you stressed out? So function is nothing but a rule, okay? It's like if I study the class 10 classes at a stretch, You'll not keep moving around because that gets me distracted, and I don't like distraction when I'm teaching. Sit down. When your parents are here, you will be able to see it. Okay, so when we say function, function defines a rule. Now let's look at what kind of rule I'm talking about. Y equal to 3x. Isn't this a rule? It says value of y is 3 times the value of x. This is a function. This is a classic representation of a function, where you will say for every value of x, there will be a corresponding value of y. Let's say when x is 1, 2 and 3. When x is 1, it will be 3. When x is 2, it will be 6. When x is 3, it will be 9. See, for every value of x, there is a corresponding value of y. So this is what, when Sangeeta was saying, that for each input, there is an absolute one output. That is when it is called a function. So here your x is your input, what you are getting is y is your output. For every value of x, there is one and only one output. For every value of x, there is one and only one y. For every input, there is only one output. Every input, there is only one output. This is the basic definition of a function. Is everybody clear? I can give it one more name. I will say all the inputs I give, I will call them as domain. Every output that I get, I will call it a range. That is another way of looking at it.
That's so random.
Yeah. So when you are talking about a rule, you're talking about a function. When you're talking about function, you're dealing with some inputs and you get some outputs. Function says that you will call anything a function only and only if when you have for every input you have one and only output. For this input you have only one output. Tomorrow if you change the input to 4, you will get only 12. That is the only possible output. Alright? So that is how you relate these things. That is the definition of function. Tomorrow if I give you guys another domain and range combination. Let's say, need a pillow? Do you need a pillow? No. Okay. This is my input. And this is my output. I can call my input as domain. And I can call my output as range. Let's say I have these 5 inputs.
There's 6.
Okay, 6.
I can't see the entire whiteboard. Like,
Can you see it now?
no, like to the side.
No, she needs the right side.
Here?
What type of computer is that?
A little
More? Better?
Yeah.
Everybody can see it? Okay. So I have 6 inputs, okay? So these are my x values, let's say. And these are my y values. I'm giving different names. This is my input, this is my output. I'm calling this is my x. Based on x, there is a corresponding y. This x maps to this and also maps to this. So basically for one input you are getting 2 outputs. For this one you are getting this, for this one you are getting this, for this one you are getting this one is mapping to this, and this one maps to this.
That's not possible.
No, that's not possible, it's not the right response. That is possible, very much possible. I'm asking, is this a function or not?
No.
No. So hear the question first before you give the answer.
That's what I meant.
Okay. So you don't have to mean anything before the question asked. You have not entered the examination hall and you are writing your answer sheet. That's why. I'm sorry? No. You will deal with it. It's good that it's easy. You're finding it easy, but is it clear to everybody? If I'm talking about this, there are a lot of mosquitoes. If you keep your mouth open, it might go inside your mouth. So, I'm talking about these are the inputs, these are the outputs, and we see that for this one input, there are two possible outputs. For this, these two inputs are converging to one output. This input is giving to this output, this input is mapping to this output, this one is mapping to this one. Is this representing a function? Is this representing a function? Think about it. Huh?
Can you please say that again?
You see, this is your input, these are your inputs, these are the outputs. And when I'm drawing the lines, I'm saying, okay, this input is resulting to these two outputs. These two inputs, sorry, this input is mapping to this output. So with this input, you are getting this output. For this and this input, you are getting this output. I'm asking, is this representing a function or not? Urvi said no. Urvi doesn't like my idea. How about Molina? Am I still close to pronouncing your name right, Beta? No?
Yeah, it's Malona.
Malona. Okay. Okay. It will take me some time. I'm just getting there.
Just think of Moana after an element.
Okay.
That's a good way to think of
Outside the syllabus. There's something for the teacher to do, that teacher will do. Don't worry about it. Okay. Nihan, are you clear? Laksh, Kumari, are you guys clear about what I'm trying to say here? Yeah? Is this a function? Is it depending a function or not? Abhi, do you think I'm depending a function here? No? Yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
No. We are not depending a function here. As per the initial description of the function, for every input there will be one and only one output. If two inputs are giving one output, that is not a function. If one input is giving two output, that is also not a function. Think about a situation, okay? Think about a situation where I say function of x equal to x squared plus 1. And if I give x equal to 2, I am getting how many answers? 2 squared is 4 minus 1. For input of 2, I am getting 3. Can I get more than one answer? No. So any function and every function, for every input you will have one and only one output. If you are getting more than one output for an input, or more than one input is converting to one output, there is a problem. It's not a function.
Why did it put the F again?
function.
Function.
What's X then?
It's fx is technically y if you think about it.
Okay, exactly. Y is a function of x.
Oh.
What is the relationship? It is equal to x squared minus 1. That's it.
But then, why did it put FX instead of Y?
It's just adding some description to it.
Oh.
You're saying y is a function of x. If I just stop here, what does it mean actually? It's like I'm saying I'm Rajnikant. I've not done any movie. Yeah? Correct? I don't know who all knows about Rajnikant, but Rajnikant is a mega star of Tamil industry, Tamil movie industry.
No, makes sense.
And so, okay, so guys, I'm just trying to get the concept first before we jump onto some problems. So, only one takeaway with all the blabber I've done in the last 15 minutes is that if you're talking about a function, for every input there will be one and only one output, and you can always relate or say every input can be bundled together and can be called as the main. Now look at this. Guys, don't go in a direction which is not needed. If I say, okay, I want to solve for a function y as a function of x for the input of 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 and 9. what we are doing is we are limiting all the inputs. We are saying that okay, we can have input or the value of x is only these 6 options. This is what is called the domain, which restricts the number of inputs that you are going to deal with. And for every input, you'll have a corresponding value of y or the output. So all the inputs together, bundled together is called domain. All the outputs that you will get based on these inputs will be. What is that?
Range.
That is called range. So from a term point of view, everybody clear, right? Nihan, Lach, Kumari, Samir, Urvi, everybody. Now let's look at some problem that we want to solve.
What is that?
Arif, my neighbor is getting super upset with your statements.
It's a moth.
Pay attention here.
Wait, are we supposed to do that?
Turn around first. You also have started becoming very naughty for no good reason.
Are we supposed to do that?
Arif?
Are we supposed to do that?
No, we are not doing it. So what I will do is I have put some questions here and then we'll try dealing with them and see how do you wrap your head around this. So Arif, keep it away from your mouth because it has chemical, right?
Oh, but it smells so good.
That's so weird.
That is for mosquitoes to stay away. That is not to attract humans.
Maybe we can get one to avoid it all.
Okay. Okay, come back. Come back to the class. Samir, are you able to follow me so far? Malona, Nihan, Dikshita, everybody so far with me?
Yeah.
Aradhya?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now I'm reading the question. A table compares the hats worn by each customer in a flower shop. And the
Oh,
no nonsense stuff, please. When I'm reading the question, if I say something quickly, I'll repeat it. So wait for the second chance.
ran.
So I'm reading the question one more time. The table compares the hats worn by each customer in a flower shop and the flowers that the customers bought. Okay? Can the type of flowers be represented as a function of type of hat? Okay, let me put the table here. The table is like this. Types of hats. This is one column. Types of flowers. Okay, can you keep quiet? Keep quiet. If you are actually believing that you are growing up, you have to reflect. If you think that you are not wanting to grow up, that's a different thing. I'll read it for you guys, okay?
Oh, okay.
Did it matter?
Okay, there are some names that I'll have difficulty in pronouncing them, okay?
Those are the most random hats I've ever
Shh.
seen.
Keep quiet.
The hats.
Keep quiet. Why it is so difficult to make a middle schooler understand when you have just one more year to go to high school? I mean, this sounds very weird to me. If I'm saying that please listen to the question, then we'll try solving it. I have to keep on repeating as if I'm stupid or something else. Let me read this question for you and at least for the people who are trying to learn something. Okay. If you have come here for wasting time, that's a different thing. This one says, I'm reading the question for you guys one more time. That this table compares the hats worn by customers in a flower shop. So this is a flower shop where this table is representing the types of hat the customers have worn and the flower that they bought. When Barrett was the type of hat that they wore, they bought this flower. When Panama was the type of hat that they wore, they bought sunflower. When, I don't know how to pronounce this, cloche, this is the type of hat they wore, they bought violet flowers. The question says, can the type of flower be represented as a function of the type of hat? There is one more I'm writing here. So here the question is, whatever you see in the table where the type of hat is on one side in one column and correspondingly for every type of hat there is a type of flower. So customer came with a type of hat that they were putting on, and depending on the type of hat that they were wearing, they bought different types of flowers. So the question is, can this be represented? Can the type of flower be represented as a function of type of hat? Can the type of flower be represented as a function of type of hat? What is that is coming to your mind? Yes, Sanvita.
No.
No, why so?
Because the violets have. Wait, is the last one and the hats the same as the third one?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, then yeah.
Yep.
I don't think so, because like there could be different combinations of hats and flowers, and those could have just been like a little bit of those combinations.
Okay. How about Arihan?
Yes. It can be represented.
Okay, so here's the thing. It cannot represent a function. Why? Because my first thing, I will visualize function like these two eggs lying vertically. And on one side you have your inputs. I'm saying, can the type of flower be represented as a function of hats? So this is my hats. And I'll put violet, Barrett, Panama, cloche, bowler, whatever. Everything here. So I have how many inputs? 6 inputs. Let's pick the third one and the 6th one. Cloche. Here you have daffodils, sunflower, violets. This cloche and this cloche, both are giving, 2 inputs are giving 1 output. Where the function says that each and every input set should have 1 and only 1 output, and very unique. So this, when my inputs are changing, see, input, the type of hat, color is matching or the type of hat is matching, but these are still 2 different inputs. If there are 2 different inputs giving 1 output, that defies the definition of function. Yes.
Can you repeat that? Like which types of hats and what type of flowers?
You read it here. So you have the names written here, and everything is mapping to this. But when you see this, if I put this inside this egg, what do you see? This input is giving daffodils 1, okay. Panama is giving sunflower, okay. Cloche is giving violet. This cloche is also giving violet. So there are 2 inputs converging to 1 output. So your input and output combination have to be unique. Every input should give 1 and only 1 output, and there should not be any mix and match.
But they say cloche again.
They say cloche again, but look at this. This input should have its own output. This input should have its own output. So that's how you're relating it, okay? Now this was more of a subjective question. Let's look at a more objective one. That might make a little more sense than this one. Are you guys getting confused, bored, tired?
No.
What is the situation right now? Not tired, not bored. Sammy okay? Suhina okay? Kumari okay? Lux, Vasundhara, everybody okay so far? Sammy, Gayatri as well? Okay, let's look at this question. I'm reading this question, a different question, okay? This is a more objective question that will make more sense. The table compares the time at which Jaden got onto the bus to school in minutes after 8 a.m. So this table says, let me put the table first, then it will make a little more sense. Time minutes after 8 a.m. Minutes after 8 a.m. and this is the duration. You have options 20 minutes after 8 a.m. to 40 minutes, 25 minutes after 8 a.m. to 47 minutes, 18 minutes after 8 a.m. to 38 minutes, 22 minutes after 8 a.m. to 42 minutes, 30 minutes after 8 a.m. to 52 minutes, and then 20 minutes after 8 a.m. to 42 minutes, 22 minutes after 8 a.m. to 41 minutes. Now I'm reading the question, okay? This says that this table compares the time at which Jaden got onto the bus to school in minutes after 8 a.m. So this column repeats at what time after 8. So 20 minutes after 8, 25 minutes after 8, 18 minutes after 8, 22 minutes after 8. So this column is showing at what time Jaden got into the school bus after 8 a.m. And this column shows the duration of the ride in minutes. Meaning when Jaden got into the bus at 20 minutes after 8, meaning at 8:20, it took him 40 minutes to go to the school. When Jaden got to the bus at 25 minutes after 8, it took him 47 minutes. 18 minutes, 38 minutes. 8:22, 42 minutes. 8:30, 52 minutes. 8:20, 42 minutes. 8:22, 41 minutes. Now the question is, can the duration of the ride be repeated as a function of the time Jaden got onto the bus?
No. Can I say why?
Just say no. Just say yes or no. Why I will come to. Okay. I want everybody to think through it. Yes.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Sammy.
No, sir, I can't.
Lux.
No, it's not.
Okay. Yes. Sarya.
No.
Arihan.
No.
No. Adya joined pretty late. Okay. So Adya, we are talking about functions. You got little late, but late as in quite late. You got late by how much time? Almost 30 minutes. But anyways, we'll try doing whatever we can do and see how to catch up. Okay. So Kumari, how about you? Does this represent a function? Can duration be represented as a function of time Jaden got into the bus? Sorry, but say that loud. Yes? How about Sanvita?
Yes.
You think it can be represented as a function of time he got into the bus? Okay, how about Abhiram?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, I got some yes, some no. I am now I'm confused. So for Adya, so since Adya joined just now, I will just repeat, and I would want everybody to pay attention to that. Okay? Milona, how about you, beta? What do you think? Can the duration of the ride be repeated as a function of the time he got into the bus?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay. So for Adya, I'll just repeat it. Okay. So today we are covering functions. When we talk about functions, functions are nothing but a rule between any two quantities or two variables, which says that okay, there's a relationship that you have to follow. Keep that bottle straight, Advik, otherwise if it falls, it will make a sound, it will get me distracted. So function represents a rule between two variables or two numbers. Say okay, if one changes, what happens to the other one? And by definition, when you will call something as a function, when for every input, for every value of one variable, there is one and only one output. Okay? For every value, let's say if I'm saying y as a function of x, that is x plus 2, meaning when I change x to 0, y will be 2. When I change x to 2, it will be 2 plus 2, 4. So for every value of x, when x is 0, y is 2. When x is 2, y is 4. There is always one pair of input and output. When you have one input giving multiple outputs, that is not a function. When multiple inputs give one output, that is also not a function. So here in this problem, we are given this problem as you have the time after 8 when Jaden got into bus and how much time it took for the ride to the school that day. When Jaden got into the bus at 8:20, it took him 40 minutes. When he got into the bus at 8:25, it took him 47 minutes. When he got into the bus at 18 minutes, past 8, it took him 38 minutes. When he got into the bus at 22 minutes past 8, it took him 42 minutes. 30, 52, 20, 42. I was asking, does it represent a function here? Yes, Sanvita, you want to change your answer?
Yeah, I want to change to no.
No. How about Adya? What do you think?
It doesn't create a function.
It is not a function at all. Yeah?
Yes, 22 and 42 to 20.
Because there are two same outputs and
Two same inputs giving two different outputs.
22 and 42
And
to
plus
22
the
to
root
41.
doesn't equal to
22,
times 2.
40, 22, 41.
Doesn't matter. Let's not go into a direction that is not needed. Meaning, here, if I say that the address of the classroom is 9401 Jericho Drive, here. If I say address of the class is 9401 Jericho Drive, McKinney, Texas. If you see that there's an address given to you where 9401 is not there, that is not your class. Simple. Rule it out.
Is that your address?
Yep. Let's not waste energy and time for things that is not. Did you get the message? So Hina, I'm hearing something that I don't understand. Okay, I'm just kidding. Okay, you were unmuted, beta. Okay, coming back to this one. So simple concept that you have to keep in mind is when you have two variables. This is one variable, this is other variable. This is one set of inputs. You are getting corresponding outputs. When any two input is giving you two different outputs. Same input, different output. Same input, different output. Or even look at 22. Same input is giving you multiple outputs. That is where it is not a function. It is just putting you in a confused state. Yeah? Everybody clear? Convinced?
Yes, sir.
Thalsi, you also joined pretty late, beta. Vasundhara, clear, beta? You don't say much, but I'm just taking that as a. Okay. Milona, clear? 100%?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, tabla after the class. Now, let me muddle the water a little bit more. So here, can you go and throw that in the trash, please? Okay. I have a graph. This is my x-axis, this is my y-axis. some value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, 6. Now my question to you guys is, does this represent a function? Meaning, this is x and this is y. Can I say y is a function of x by looking at this graph with the minimal intelligence we need?
Wait, what's that? Growth thing?
Parabola.
No problem.
It doesn't matter.
Oh.
If I call it parabola, hyperbola or Ravan,
Ramen is crazy.
I can give it any name. Okay, this looks like Ravan to me, let's say. Doesn't matter. I'm saying this is a graph here. I have a graph here. I'm asking you guys, can I say here by looking at this graph, y is a function of x? Can I say so? Dikshita, Abhiram, Tansi, Hiranya, Samir. Samir, you have to answer this question. This is worth $1 million. You will get $1 million times 0 after you answer it correctly.
What was the question?
Were you sleeping? No, right? I'll repeat one more time. But I don't like this kind of distracted questions actually. When you are not paying attention, you are making a teacher do overtime by asking him to repeat the question. I have a graph here representing x and y relationship. My simple question to you guys is, based on this graph, can you say that y is a function of x? Does this graph represent y as a function of x?
No, sir. Y is not a function.
You don't think so? Okay.
No.
No?
Yes.
Yes?
Katova.
Hold your horses. Your horses need to be tamed. They are just running around. They are going berserk actually. Okay. Yes, Arihan.
No.
Oh, no.
You also think no? How about Dikshita?
I think it's no, sir.
No? How about Adya? No? How about Gayatri? Gayatri has been very quiet. How about Sarya? No? Kumari also thinks no? Sanvita?
No.
No? Okay. Now let me try to understand why you guys strongly think it's a no. Tell me in 2 sentences. I don't have enough time.
Because a straight line ties the max part while a parabola has.
You're not going in the right direction. Stop it there.
Can I say
Laksh,
why?
I'll come to you. Yeah. Yeah, Laksh. Yes or no?
I think it's yes.
How about Sami?
Can I explain why I got
No, just say yes or no first. I'll tell you why. When I'll tell you.
no?
You think no? Okay. Gayatri?
I think it's yes.
Okay. Okay. Now tell me why no.
Because like in a parabola, the function can be x squared. It can be squared.
Okay. Okay. You did not give the right answer in the first place. Now you are challenging him. Keep your house clean first before you point at somebody else. Okay? Your house is not clean. It's looking messy right now. Okay. Let me go to Sami.
It's no because the two different inputs give.
And whatever mess you guys have created around yourself, you have to clean that mess before you leave the classroom. Okay? I'm not here for doing the janitor's job in the class. Okay. Yes, sorry, Sami, complete.
So it's no because two different inputs give the same output.
Okay. I'll just take that as a information for now. Now let me go to Laksh. You said that it is a yes. Tell me why you think so.
Sir, what's the equation on the board?
There is no equation. I'm just saying, is y a function of x? You guys are not getting any prize for doing anything mischievous. Okay. So just stay focused. Arav, you have bigger problem, beta. You are taller than me, and I have to look at you like this to make you understand basics of life. That looks stupid on my.
You can't touch my back, that's why.
Stay there. Stay there. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, let's complete. Here's your thought.
After I switched my mic.
No. Okay. You find it difficult to explain. Okay, how about Gayatri? Gayatri, you told me that you think it's yes. Tell me why you think so. Guys, the answer is yes.
You said no.
I will record your video and combine that with my classes video so that the whole world sees how crazy you go by seeing simple things. Now you look at this. Shh, everybody here. What does function of, so y is a function of x, meaning every value of x gives me a value of y. When x is this, my y is 0 here. When x changes to here, I mean it's not a straight line, there is a small difference in the x, right? That's why it's a curve. It's not a straight line anywhere. So x value is changing by some decimal points, increasing to positive side, and y is increasing. X is continuously increasing, y came to this point. Then when x increases further, y goes down. What we are seeing here is every x value has a different value of y. For every value of x, there is a different value of y. When x was this, there was one and only one value of y, which is here. When you have matching y here, that is for different value of x. So every individual input has a different output. There is no mix and match here. So you are essentially talking about y is a function of x in the form of a parabola. Some of you were uttering this word parabola. You are actually seeing a parabola-like thing where every value of x has a unique value of y. So this is a function. This is a function actually. Yeah.
But like, what if y is like 6 or something and it has 2 dots?
My discussion starts from x. Every x corresponds to only one y.
Okay.
Yes, Arihan.
So, like, I have a question. So, on the x-axis, like, there's one y, which is 0, and there's multiple x's, which is 1 input and 2 output.
Yeah, so basically look at this. Your simple thing is every input should map to one and only one output. If you look at it from input point of view, if I have 4 inputs, this input is mapping to this output, this input is mapping to this output, this is mapping to this output, this is mapping to this output, let's say. This is a straightforward case. Let's say in the worst case scenario, in a parabola-like situation, you will see that these 2 inputs are mapping to one output. But when you look at this input standalone, this is mapping to only one. So many to one. I mean, let me refine my statement here. When you talk about many to one, meaning many inputs converting to one output is still okay. One to many is not okay. Meaning every time you give an input and you have a clear-cut answer, you are fine. That is a function. When you give one input and you can get multiple outputs, that is when you are confused. That is not a function. Does it make sense? Now I am putting it together. I am just putting it together. So look at this. And I will always force you guys to, or convince you guys to, look at some lame way to relate things. Now this is your input, set of inputs called domain, and this is your range. As a function, what are you trying to do?
We're trying to rule that.
No, keep quiet. You're just trying to keep quiet. That's a function of the class. As a function, what you are trying to do? You are putting some input and you have to have a defined, clearly defined, well articulated output. If I have one input, I have this output. I gave 1 as input, I got 4 as output. I gave, let's say, 2 as input, I got 6 as output. I gave 3 as input, I got 8 as output, let's say. I gave
5 as an input, I got 4 as a
output. When I'm coming to this kind of situation, this is still a function. Why? Because if you look at just your input, when you are giving that input, do you have any doubt? No. You are clear that if I am giving a 5, I'll get a 4 as my output as well. Only. Laugh, you want to laugh? Go out and laugh.
Well, I have a real question.
No, wait. You will not get a chance to ask the question. When you are showing indiscipline in the class, you don't get opportunities. Right? Do you think if I start dancing with my t-shirts flying all around and you guys will still be in the class? No, you will not like it in discipline, correct? Same thing applies for you guys also. If you will not tolerate me for showing any indiscipline, I will not tolerate you for any indiscipline either. So one chance gone. Now pay attention so that you can follow. My question, my recommendation here is, any function is a valid function if for any input you have a one and only one output. Doesn't matter if other inputs also have the same output or not. If I give 5, do I have any doubt what my answer would be? No, I know my answer is 4. Clear, done deal. If I give 1 as my input, do I have any confusion what my output would be? No, I know it's 4. When I give 2 as an input, what is my output? 6 and only 6. Done and dusted. No questions. Yes, Dikshita. Dikshita, you have raised your hand.
So, like, a point can have like 2 inputs, 3 outputs.
You can have 2 inputs or multiple inputs with one output, but the vice versa is not right. Meaning you cannot have 1 input and 4 outputs. Hold it. Keep your hands down. You have lost your chances for today's discussion. There has to be a penalty for mistakes, sir. The penalty is you will not be given a chance to ask questions. I'm just repeating it here. If I have 1 input, that gives me a point blank output, there is no problem. If I have a situation like this, think about it like a student yourself. You are in an exam and you are trying to solve a problem and you are getting 2 options and only 1 is right. Are you in a good state? No. This is not a function. This doesn't define a function. Yeah? Yes, Nihan, you put your hands down, you put your thumbs up, thumbs up, I don't know what it means. Any questions so far? No? Yeah, Arav, go ahead. What was your question?
Basically, could a function be like in a traditional like
2 words, 4 words, 5 words in a sentence makes the sentence very explicit. Don't have to put too many things together to get confused. Simple theory is, if you have 1 input, any input, and you get 1 and only 1 output, that is a function. If you have 1 input, you get 3 as an input, and you can get 4, you can get 6, or you can get 8 also as an answer. You are confused. That doesn't define a function. You don't know which one to pick, which is the right answer. Yeah? Go ahead.
So 2 inputs can have 1 output.
2 inputs can have 1 output. That's what you will see. A parabola is a parabola. When you try representing, you will see that any quality equation represents a parabola where y is a function of x. And when you try plotting that, you will see like this, where for the same value of x, you will see 2 different values of y. But this value of x gives you this y, same value of x. Is this the right description here?
could a probably can a parabola go
Use sorry?
could a parabola go like this way but not like this
It can go everywhere, any possible way.
Oh.
But nobody is stopping parabola from being like this to this versus this or this. Okay? So basically when you are looking at any function, simple thing is for any input, if one input gives you two outputs, this is x, y is not a function of x here. But if you look at the other way around, is x a function of y? Probably yes. So that this is how you will describe it. But in a parabolic situation, you have to look at which one is defining what function. Here, in this situation, this value of x gives you two possible y's. So in this situation, your y is not a function of x. But if you look at, is x a function of y? Yes. When y is this, the x is this. When y is this, then x is this. So this y gives one value, this y also gives another value. Both are same, but that doesn't matter. This input has only one answer for this. So as long as for every input you have only one output, you are fine. I mean, you are fine to say that is a function. Is it confusing or is it okay to digest so far? Okay. So let's look at other one. Let me see what was the other problem that I had for you guys. Okay, now I have an interesting one actually. So keep the basics in place, and we are talking about, and then we'll relate that to this one. Okay, I have y equal to 7. No, let me not say this. So this is a line, okay? This line is plotted with x and y values. The question is, does this graph, this is my x-axis, this is my y-axis, this is a horizontal line, okay? The question is, does this graph represent a function? This line. What do you guys think? Does this line or the graph represent a function? You said no, I heard it. Yeah.
I was thinking.
Okay. What do you think, Milona? Sanvita?
No.
You think no? Okay. There'll be some interesting description of that, no or yes, okay? Yeah.
No.
No? You think no? Okay, yeah, Milona. Go ahead with that.
No.
You think no? Keep your story ready, okay? I would be interested in hearing that out. Yes, Sami.
Can you repeat the question?
So this graph that you see here in the xy plane, or this line, whatever you call it, this is a straight line parallel to the x-axis. My question to you guys is, does this represent a function?
I think we can say yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, Laksh, go ahead.
No.
No? How about Suhina?
Maybe yes.
Maybe yes. Arihan?
No.
No? Whatever you say, yes or no, you have to have a reasoning for it. Yes, David?
It is a function.
It is a function. Okay. Let's see what Dikshita says. You have told no.
Sir,
I'll tell you when. Yes, Dikshita.
what is the question again?
Question is, I have a coordinate plane here where I have plotted this graph on a straight line which is parallel to the x-axis. My question to you is, does this straight line represent a function or not? So whenever I say function, a function is something where it's a rule where for every input you have one and only one output. Yes. Gayatri, go ahead.
I don't think it is.
You don't think it's dependent function? Saurya?
I think it is a function.
It is a function. How about Dikshita?
I think it is no.
It is no, it's not a function. Sami?
It's not a function.
It's not a function. So now let me put Davik on this part. Yeah, what do you think?
Why? Like,
No.
it is a function.
I'll come to you. Yes, Tansi, go ahead. Yes or no? It's not a function?
No, it is a function.
It is a function. Okay. So Davik, can you describe why you think what your answer is and why?
I think it's a function because the y value, it's being repeated, but the x value at the domain, like the domain values, they aren't being repeated, so it's a constant function. So it still is a function. Like
Okay.
the domain's not being repeated.
Domain is not being repeated. Yes. Okay. So that's a good definition that Davik gave. Okay. So whatever I was saying, right, that for every input, if your every input gives you one and only one output, you are still fine. If one input gives you multiple outputs, that is when you disqualify them from being called a function. What Davik is saying is, my domain itself is not repeated. So here, when x is 1, y has some value. When x is 2, y has some value. When x is 3, y has some value. Every time you are changing, you are not repeating a domain. Your x value remains, constantly changing. It's changing all the time. Even if your output is changing, but for one input, you have one and only one output. No matter what. Every other input has one and only one output, and everything is matching to this guy.
So it is a function.
It is a function. So your first criteria for qualifying into the function is, does my one input have one and only one output or not? Regardless, my neighbor also has same output. My neighbor's neighbor also has same output. But my input gives me one and only one output. So I'm fine. Yeah? Does that clarify it for everybody, or we still have some more opportunity to muddle the water? Is everybody clear? So, simple thing. In one line, if I can break it down, that if your one input gives you one and only one output, it's a function. Doesn't matter what's happening in the neighborhood. If every input has one and only one output, it's a function. This input has one output, this input also has one output, this input also has one output, this input also has one same output but one output, this input has a different output or the same output. If one input has one and only one output, it is fine. The problem only happens when you have one input branching into two outputs. That's when you will rule it out as being called a function. Otherwise, you're just fine. Yeah? Everybody clear about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right. So it's already time. But one last picture I will draw on the same board in a minute. And you'll see the same problem with a different flavor, okay? I have these 2 points, okay? These are the points, okay? On a graph paper. Is this representing a function?
No.
I think so.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Why yes?
Because they don't know.
Wait, no.
There is no third option.
Because they don't follow in a consecutive order.
See, one input, what does it mean? This is your x. Okay? Yeah, let's go ahead. Tell me what is your answer.
I think it's a yes.
It's yes. I will say no. No and only no. Yes, Dikshita.
Yeah, I think it was yes, but then yeah.
It's no. Because if this is your x value, let's say this is 3 or 4, whatever, how many corresponding y's you are getting? For this x, you have 3 points. For this x, this is a point. For this x, this is a point. For this x, this is a point. These are unique answers, unique outputs. But for this particular value of x, you see 3 different y's. Meaning, in your this egg diagram, if I call this egg diagram, one input, this input is resulting into 3 outputs. Not a function at all. Yeah? David, did I say it right?
Yes.
Yeah? David, Sammy, Samanvita, everybody convinced? Alright, with that being said, it brings us to the end of the class. I'll let you guys go, enjoy the rest of your evening, talk to you guys next week. But I'll upload the video of the class, do the assignments, and we'll see. Alright, bye bye. Take care.
Why?